Hello, my name is Rima Ilebo, MD, and I am the Medical Director of the Natural Solutions Foundation. I'm a physician licensed in the state of New York, and like most of us, I grew up convinced that vaccines were safe and effective. Turns out that once you study the real science and the epidemiology of vaccination, you find out something very, very different. And that's why for myself and for others whom I discuss the issue with, I recommend complete vaccine abstinence. Now, in order to have vaccine abstinence in the face of the huge push to get everyone vaccinated multiply, it's necessary to have a binding vaccine exemption. The state of New York, the state of California, many other states, and other countries around the world are frantically attempting to eliminate any vaccine exemptions, but they can't. You already have a vaccine exemption in place, no matter where in the United States or about 190 other countries you live. That vaccine exemption is called the right of informed consent, and it is guaranteed by international treaty law under the binding conditions of the Geneva Convention. Once an international treaty is signed and ratified, the country that ratified it must adopt as its own laws the legal provisions of the treaty. That's what a treaty is for. Well, under the Geneva Convention, the right of individuals to refuse any and every medical intervention, whether it's vaccines or chemotherapy or fluoride in the water or other so-called public health or individual health measures, is inviolable. That right is protected by U.S. law and recognized by recent U.S. Supreme Court decisions. But you have to assert that right correctly. And that's why the Natural Solutions Foundation has created an advanced health directive called the Advanced Vaccine Directive, which legally asserts the right of the individual whose name is on that card to say no to any or every vaccine. Now, the right of informed consent cannot be waived or canceled by any state, any school board, any hospital, any airline, or any other unit of government or commerce. The right of informed consent belongs to you. However, there is an election going on in the United States right now, an election season, to choose the candidates who will run for the office President of the United States. Many other candidates for many other positions are also in the running. My vote, my polling place love, goes only to those politicians, those office seekers who support, who protect, and who embrace my right and your right of informed consent, my right and yours to have sovereignty over your body, to make the medical choices that you deem correct, not that the state or the corporation or the corporate state deems correct. Now, what can you do about it? At the bottom of the screen, you'll see Informed Consent President. If you go to tinyurl.com/Informed Consent President, you'll see a page of information which the Natural Solutions Foundation has created to support the idea that only a presidential candidate who supports my informed consent and yours deserves my vote and yours. So far, not one presidential candidate has spoken about informed consent. We need to change that. It is, as Major General Albert N. Stubblebine III, the founding president of the Natural Solutions Foundation, and my husband, said, the defining issue of the 21st century. He's right. Health freedom means you own your body. Health tyranny means someone else does. Informed consent, like the speed of light, is not just a good idea, it's the law. We need a president in the United States in the 2020 election who supports the rule of law, and the right of informed consent is the law of the land. Let's enforce it. Thank you.